Hello everyone, this is Rajiv here with Vignesh for our next episode of Garage 101, and today we want to tell everybody how you can select the best car for you. And the only thing is, this time it's not new cars, it's pre-owned cars. So Vignesh, from your
pre-worshipped cars.
Pre-worshipped
That's
cars.
how Team BHP categorizes
Hopefully it's
it,
pre-worshipped because if it's pre-worshipped, then you get a good car when you're buying it.
You better get a good
But
car,
then not all cars are like that. So the first thing we want to talk about is the first segment of buying a pre-owned car.
So this is all about buying a used car, right?
Yeah.
And unlike a new car, a lot of things are variable, a lot of things change, a lot of things are different. You look at cars across multiple generations, but primary thing, Rajiv, in my opinion, is that this is similar to buying a new car anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because you have a number you don't want to cross. If you, let's say you fix a budget of say 5 lakhs, stick to the 5 lakhs. There's always going to be a plus or minus, maybe 2 or 3%, but just stick to that value.
Yeah.
Either you can do that, or you can rework it from an EMI perspective and think, okay, I can afford an EMI of say 8,000 bucks or 10,000 bucks for the next 3-4 years.
Right.
So based on that and my down payment, you can figure out the total cost of the car that you're looking to buy.
See, this is quite tricky when it comes to pre-owned cars when you fix a budget.
True.
It's tricky because there are so much more options in terms of, are you going for a premium segment for 5 lakhs?
Makes sense.
And let's say you have a ballpark, let's say you have a 10 lakh budget. In a 10 lakh budget, it's very tricky because you have all the segments smashed into one. You have, first of all, let's say I may be wrong in the exact names of the cars, but for a 10 lakh budget, you have a 2-year-old City.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Agreed.
You have a 4-year-old Jetta, maybe. The old long lost car, which is a great car, one of my most favorite cars. You have a 4-year-old Jetta. Or you have a 6-year-old Mercedes or a Beamer.
Very likely.
So it gets very tricky. But here the main thing is understand, when you're looking to buy a pre-owned car, the first thing you need to know is what it costs to maintain that car. It's easy to buy the car for 10 lakhs, but at the end of the day, you buy a car for 10 lakhs and you're super happy that you're sitting with all of the, the knickknacks that the cars come with. Let's say you buy a BMW 3 Series, a 2011 model. I think, ballpark, you might get maybe 12, 13 lakhs. You might get a...
That's a push, but I guess even a 2013 or 2014 3 Series, that's done like 80k kilometers, right? Could be around 10 lakhs.
Yeah, and if you're lucky to get that, and at least you feel lucky because this is a car it's very luxurious. It's something that not everybody has an opportunity.
I completely get it. The perception of value is completely different.
But the important thing is why we say fix your budget, and why we are talking about that in the start is not just the budget of the car itself, but what it's going to cost you after you buy the car. Because just for example, you buy a C-Class, which is a 2012 C-Class. A rear view mirror, a side view mirror is going to cost you nothing less than 25-30 grand to fix. And do you have that kind of follow-up budget, and your insurance is not going to crazily cover that in terms of zero debt because it's already crossed a 5-year or 6-year-old thing.
It costs a certain age, right?
Yes, so understand that, always think about it this way. It's not just about buying the car, because I think, I say that from experience because it's very tempting to buy a Beamer or any German car. And then they figure out that, oh my God, you change the name, now it's become a second owner. And
but I completely get what you're saying, because a lot of people they aspire to own a Beamer or a Merc or, an Audi or something like that. But what happens is that they don't exactly keep in mind the amount of money that is required to service, maintain, and that ultimately you need to have an appetite for that, right? Because you're going to see high numbers, you're going to see very high numbers.
Correct. Let's talk about for 10 lakhs.
Correct.
What is the most sensible decision to make? And I would say it's about a 2 or 3-year-old City, a Honda City, or some other car like a Verna.
Correct.
Or maybe even an Elantra if you really want to push your budget, maybe a 4-year-old.
Makes sense.
But let's give the right advice by saying you buy a 2 or a 3-year-old car so that you're not into too much of risk. It's still under warranty maybe for 1 more year.
It's a balance, So, and you wouldn't have done so much as well, right? So you still...
So what would you do if I gave you 10 lakhs? I won't, but I'm just asking you.
My first pick would be to go in for a car that's as young as possible, right?
Maybe a 15 lakh car for 10 lakhs?
Likely, yes.
And how many years old should it be, you think, ideally?
No, I think 3-4 See, at least till the car is 5 years old, till a car is 5 years old, it's okay as long as it doesn't done. As long as it isn't done too much when it comes to distance.
It hasn't done too much.
All right. So I'm even okay with a 5 lakh or 30,000 kilometer car.
A 5
Sorry,
lakh.
right, 5 year or 30,000 kilometer car, which is I think sensible, right? It's not done too much, and it's. I'd like to think it somehow gives me the perception that the owner of this particular vehicle has kept it, fairly well. It hasn't been abused.
He has kept it, that's all. He has not used it. The 5 years, 30,000, I don't know why they bought a car.
But there are cars like that, yes.
There are so many cars.
Anyway, so I think, but I think having said that, right, once you fix the budget, once you have an idea of the cost of ownership in this case, right, the next step, I think what anyone should do is just understand what you can get and what you can't get. Like you just scan the market.
Okay.
Right.
So that's
just
the next
scan,
thing.
Just scan. Just go through websites. You have budget filters.
And that requires a lot more research than buying a new car, because a new.
Absolutely.
I think a new car, you just can't go wrong too much. You can't just buy a car and say, hey, you know what? I should have never bought this car, because it's all the features are there now these days in all the segments. Meaning all the brands.
Most of what you need is there even
because
in
of the competition.
Car.
Yeah. But a used car, you really need to scan the entire market.
No, I mean, I was just like we were discussing earlier, right? So, for example, if you're looking at a 3-year-old Honda City, right? Now I'm taking the Honda City because you brought it up, and number two, it's also a great example because it's changed generations. Right, absolutely. The one that you get right now is the 5th gen, and earlier you had the 4th gen.
And there is quite a significant difference.
Decent difference, right? So, for example, if you're looking at the 4th generation Honda City with the V variant and manual transmission, you need to know what was there in the V variant then, right? Because otherwise you would never know. You need to get deep into it. You need to figure out, okay, I want to download the brochure of a 2014 Honda City.
Or watch a YouTube video of the car.
Go to that particular generation's brochure.
Tell me something. Do you think it makes sense to buy a discontinued model?
I think it's okay. As long as
I mentioned the Jetta. Let's say you get a Jetta.
Yes. So it will seem like a risk, right? And you cannot avoid that. It is a risk, but you don't get cars like that anymore. That's also there.
Is that a good thing, or?
I would say it all depends on what sort of a purchase this is. If it's an emotional purchase for you, then the Jetta would work out to be a very
because I love that car for one, the price that you get it pre-owned.
Yeah.
Two, for the kind of performance that it's got.
Absolutely.
The thing I hate about it though is when you take it to the service center and something happens to that car, one AC compressor is going to set you back a lakh and a half,
Okay, yeah, you pay for the small.
Then coming back to what I had said earlier.
Yeah.
But then again, we are only talking about sensible decisions here, right? So you would say the Honda
emotional
City.
decisions are not sensible.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of them being emotional. So if you're looking for a logical purchase, then a Honda City, a very young Honda City, or Hyundai one would do the trick.
Even if it's a car that's 3 years old or 4 years old. Coming back to the insurance, you wanted to say something about that.
Absolutely.
So, how do you look at?
No, I think once
if an accident has occurred.
Exactly. Once you scan the cars, right? So next step is to, all the cars might seem great, right? Especially if you go to a used car dealer's yard and they are most likely well presented, but you may not know what's happened to it. Right. So there are always some telltale signs, right? That a car has gone through something, right? For example, if a car has been affected by floods, it will be noticeable in the sense, it may not be noticeable on the outside, but you will notice it when you're driving it. You will have some abnormal engine sound, you will have some very odd steering behavior, for example, right?
I always say, just to cut you off here, that one point I wanted to make was the car has to, you have to talk to the car when you're driving it. And that's what I do when I buy.
As long as the cars talk to you back.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't want them to talk to you back. You don't want them to make a single sound. You get what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You talk to the car and say, you know what, let's make it through this test drive. Because from my experience of buying second-hand cars, the first thing I look at is the car. You kind of really feel that should be emotional, that particular decision. Because if it's not making you don't want to talk. Because I've seen cars that yap away to glory to you. So that's all the squeaking noises and all of that. What else can we look for?
I think then, like you just pointed out, right? So always have a look at the documents. right?
Right.
So, and especially have a look at the insurance paper, because insurance companies will offer you something called NCB or a no claim bonus. And
Right.
if this particular owner has a very high NCB, no claim bonus, which means that he or she hasn't claimed insurance for the past so many years, and therefore, ideally, the car hasn't gone through anything major. Right? There can always be cases where the person did not claim insurance but got the car fixed outside. But that's, let's be frank, it's got to be very unlikely.
Yeah.
Right? So those things, those telltale signs, and if you're, for example, if the car's been through an accident and it's been, let's say, it's been taken care of at an unauthorized service center, for example, you will notice that, the welds are going to be a little bad, in the sense there's nothing like a machine welding or a robo welding the parts. Right? So you will notice these telltale signs. You will notice rust. You will notice a lot of things which can give you an idea of the condition of the car, however good it looks on the outside.
Right. I think to sum up this entire, it's very, it's inconclusive when you're choosing a car, because at the end of the day, there are way too many factors that play on it. Each car is different. Each car has been maintained by a different person. We can only look at the basics, and that's what we're trying to tell you through this video. So I think if you want to sum up, or you have anything else to add?
Or just buy a new car.
That's what he's going to do for sure. And in fact, that's what also part of my job is. But since this topic is, if you have decided already to buy a pre-owned car, and you've decided, I want a better, better value for my buck, then
Correct.
I think you would get great cars out there. Just spend your time on it.
Yeah.
Don't be in a hurry. And I've had this.
Agreed. Yeah, you should never be in a hasty.
I've had this
mindset,
instance,
right?
for example. I've seen a car. I've bought about over a long period of time, about 5 or 6 cars, and all second-hand cars. And the one thing I've realized is, you go see a car, it looks beautiful on the outside. Okay. Then when you talk to it, it talks too much back to you, right? That's exactly what I was trying to say. It talks way too much, and you get noises, surround sound sometimes, without even having the radio. And you still want to buy the car because of the way it looks. Because all it takes is to change the tires, polish the car up.
Makes sense.
And so don't, so I would say that just take your time, don't be in a hurry. If you are 100% sure that the car is good in all I think the engine, the service history, like you said, the insurance and everything, I think then it makes a very good decision.
True. But so once you have an idea of it,
you always will get some car coming along. It's just that how long you're ready to wait. Because if you think like that, sometimes what happens,
you will keep stretching it, bro. I mean, like you will be like, okay, I know I'm going to get another car.
It depends on luck as well. So, I hope you guys get lucky. And to summarize this thing, you want to just sum up what we said. The first thing we said was, have a budget.
Yeah,
make sure that, you're not crossing that budget in terms of affordability after buying the car.
And
the second thing,
the second thing is, once you fix your budget, scan the market. Right? Understand what you can get, what you can't get, what are the cars, what are the brands that you can get with that particular budget, right? So that will give you a fair idea of what to expect.
Yeah. And the third thing is, look out for things like accidents and things like that by checking on the no claim bonus. See if it's been claimed too many times, and what is the I think it's called the value of the car on the insurance. What is that called?
IDV.
Insurance declare value. That's important. That kind of tells you, okay, you know what? If you keep crashing the car every time you take it out of your house, then that IDV is going to reduce a lot. Also beware of cars, like he said, the ones that run 30,000, maybe he ran it 30,000, had a huge accident, doesn't take it out anymore. But then again, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I think yes, and one very vital point that Rajiv pointed out is, don't be in a hurry, right?
And don't make any hasty decisions. Because the problem is, once you buy the car, selling a second-hand car is far more difficult than selling a new car, because once it's now a second owner, getting a third owner to buy it is quite difficult. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. My name is Rajiv again from cargratings.com.
And I'm Vignesh from TryCarPal.com. So if you want to buy a new car and sort of avoid the used cars, come to us.
And if you're looking to be happy while you're buying that, then you come to me. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. And hope this video was helpful. Until our next video, this is Garage 101. See you next time.